Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samar News. Here are today's headlines. The United States launched fresh strikes on Iran after accusing Tehran of attacking a container ship, while Iran announced it had closed the Strait of Hormuz and expanded attacks on U.S. military facilities across the Gulf. U.S. Central Command said it struck 140 Iranian military targets in the latest wave of operations, bringing the total to more than 300 over 3 days. Iran's Revolutionary Guards claimed attacks on U.S.-linked sites in Jordan, Kuwait, Oman, and Qatar, while the UAE and Bahrain reported intercepting missiles and drones. US President Donald Trump has said that American forces have hit Iran very hard in response to attacks on shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. Trump claimed the two sides had been close to a deal before Tehran allegedly targeted a vessel with a drone. He also insisted the Strait of Hormuz remains open to commercial traffic despite ongoing hostilities. The US Central Command has said that the Strait of Hormuz remains open to commercial shipping despite Iran's claim that it has closed the vital waterway. CENTCOM said US forces are positioned and prepared to ensure freedom of navigation. Several Middle Eastern countries have activated their air defense systems after Iran launched strikes on US targets across the region. Missile sirens sounded in Bahrain, while the UAE, Qatar, and Jordan also responded to the attacks. Qatar reported 3 people injured, including a child, by falling shrapnel, while Jordan said 3 Iranian missiles landed inside its territory, causing minor property damage. Iranian Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf warned the United States to uphold its commitments under the June 16 Memorandum of Understanding, declaring that the era of one-sided deals is over. In a post on X, Ghalibaf said Washington must keep its promises or pay the price, highlighting provisions related to reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Brigadier General Mohammad Akraminia also accused the US of undermining regional security and vowed Iran would defend its interests in the strategic waterway. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, said the Strait of Hormuz will remain closed until the United States ends what Tehran describes as its military interference in the region. According to Iranian state media, the announcement followed an incident in which IRGC forces fired warning shots at a vessel they claimed was using an unauthorized and illegal route through the strategic waterway. The IRGC warned it would respond severely to any attempt to use the incident as a pretext for military action, as tensions between Iran and the United States remain high. Meanwhile, US Ambassador to NATO Matthew Whitaker has warned Iran that Washington will respond with overwhelming force if commercial ships in the Strait of Hormuz are attacked. Whitaker said the US-Iran interim agreement is performance-based and urged Tehran to ensure its military actions align with ongoing negotiations aimed at preserving the peace deal. Iran has said that future transit through the Strait of Hormuz should be decided exclusively by Iran and Oman. Foreign Ministry spokesman Esmail Baghaei said that talks in Muscat focused on shipping security and Article 5 of the Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding. Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf added that restoring transit depends on compliance with arrangements set by Iran. Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar urged all parties to exercise restraint and pursue dialogue during a phone call with Iranian Foreign Minister Sayed Abbas Araghchi amid rising regional tensions. According to Pakistan's Foreign Office, the two leaders discussed the evolving security situation and emphasized de-escalation in line with the Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding. Dar reiterated that dialogue and diplomacy remain the only path to lasting regional peace. Both ministers agreed to remain in close contact as diplomatic efforts continue to prevent further escalation involving Iran and the United States. At least 6 Palestinians, including a 9-year-old girl, were killed in fresh Israeli strikes across the Gaza Strip. The violence comes as mediators continue talks to preserve the US-brokered ceasefire. Meanwhile, negotiations in Cairo on the next phase of the agreement remain deadlocked, with both Israel and Hamas accusing each other of violating the truce. Ukraine says it has struck 14 Russian vessels, including 10 tankers and 4 ferries, in drone attacks on Sunday, in addition to an overnight strike, an oil refinery in Russia's Samara region. Drone Forces Commander Robert Brovdy said a total of 90 Russian vessels had been hit over the past 7 days. Kyiv has intensified strikes on Russian energy infrastructure in recent months, aiming to disrupt oil revenues that help finance Moscow's war effort. At least 51 people have died in Bangladesh after days of torrential monsoon rain triggered deadly floods and landslides. More than 1 million people remain stranded, with the worst-hit areas in Bandarban, where submerged roads and landslides have cut off communities. Rescue teams and volunteers continue relief operations, but many remote areas are still awaiting assistance. At least 2 people were killed and several others injured after gunfire broke out during Toronto's annual Salsa on St. Clair Street festival, prompting a major police investigation. Police said 6 people suffered gunshot wounds after an exchange of gunfire between 2 individuals. 2 victims died at the scene, while the others were taken to hospital. Authorities recovered 2 firearms but had made no arrests as of Sunday. An estimated 13,000 people were attending the festival when the shooting occurred. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney and Ontario Premier Doug Ford condemned the attack and offered condolences to the victims' families. U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham, a senior Republican lawmaker and close ally of President Donald Trump, has died at the age of 71 after what his office described as a brief and sudden illness. Graham passed away on Saturday evening. In a statement, his family requested privacy during this difficult time. Trump paid tribute on Truth Social, calling Graham one of the greatest people and senators I have ever known, and a true American patriot. First elected to the Senate in 2002, Graham represented South Carolina for more than 2 decades and became a leading Republican voice on defense, national security, and foreign policy. He was serving as chairman of the Senate Budget Committee at the time of his death. Qatar's former emir, Sheikh Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani, has died at the age of 74, the Emiri Diwan announced on Sunday. The cause of death was not disclosed. His funeral prayers were held in Doha, after which he was laid to rest at the Lusail Cemetery. Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani joined mourners and helped carry his father's body during the funeral. Sheikh Hamad ruled Qatar from 1995 to 2013 before voluntarily abdicating in favor of his son, the current emir, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. Widely known as the father emir, he oversaw Qatar's transformation into one of the world's wealthiest and most influential nations, driven by its vast natural gas resources. That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samar.tv. Thank you for watching Samar News.